Good afternoon, everybody. Kevin McDermott here from Athlone Institute of Technology, and joining me is Tony Cummins,
Hello.
we're two lecturers in the Faculty of Engineering, specifically in the Department of Electronics or Department of Software and Informatics. So we want to give you a talk about one of the courses that's on offer here in AIT. Before I do that, I just want to give you a bit of background into, I suppose, good reasons why to come to AIT, what advantages AIT have. And I suppose one of the major pluses that we have going for us in engineering in AIT is that we have a new engineering building. The engineering building was developed, we moved into it in 2010. It was a 40 million investment, and we were lucky to get it during the last recession in the country, and it certainly facilitated the delivery of courses that we give in the college. But in the college, the campus, there's been huge investment, not just in engineering, but we have state-of-the-art sports facilities, running tracks, and the other faculties have also been developed extensively over the last number of years. So we're very fortunate that it's pretty much state-of-the-art, the campus in AIT, and been continuously developed. There are over 6,000 students. We're a very multicultural environment with students from 62 countries. We offer full suite of courses throughout the various faculties. Many advantages to choose AIT, from the availability of accommodation, the affordability of accommodation, the, I suppose, easy accessibility of the location as well. So the many good reasons to choose AIT in the first place. What I'm interested in today is I want to talk to you just about the opportunities that are available in the computer technology area. Broadly, the computer technology, information computer technology, it's a booming area in Ireland. The government a number of years ago made a strategic decision to attract forward direct investment into the country. So basically, they went out and attracted, with their tax regime, all the top tech companies, and brought them into the country, and they set up their headquarters, their offices here, and they provide fabulous opportunities for good quality work. So there's over 900 software companies in Ireland, employing up over 40,000 people at the moment and growing. It's an area that they're constantly looking for skilled people, and there always seems to be a shortage of skilled people. 16 of the top tech companies in the world are located and have their headquarters in Ireland. Here in Athlone, we have Ericsson's, the telecoms company, and they provide great opportunities for our graduates. Apart from the tech companies, you have a lot of manufacturing companies that also require skilled people. So when the course we're looking at today, we're looking at computer networks. So everything from a business, a school, colleges, any office environment, they've all got computer networks, and required skilled people to configure that network, maintain the network, update the network. And the specific course that we want to talk about today gives you those skills, and there are numerous opportunities. In AIT, there are many different levels that you can come into the courses, many different levels, many different qualifications you can attain. So you can come in and do a 2-year level 6 qualification. You can come in and do a 3-year level 7 qualification, or indeed a 4-year level 8 qualification. There are also many research opportunities. So after level 7, people can progress on to do masters at level 9, or indeed PhDs at level 10. We'll go through, that's known as a ladder structure, where you can come in at a level 6 and then add on an extra year for level 7, another year for level 8, and so on. So it's a big advantage of the Institute of Technologies. It makes studying kind of more attainable to a lot of people. Before I go into the specifics of the courses, I just want to discuss the Faculty of Engineering. The main departments in the Faculty of Engineering are Civil Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and the department that we're involved in, the Department of Electronics and Informatics. So within the Department of Electronics and Informatics, you've got 2 broad streams: software engineering, predominantly software design courses, and computer engineering. And within computer engineering, there are two main streams of courses that we offer, a course in computer engineering and network infrastructures. So the network infrastructure course is the course that I want to I want to discuss this afternoon. And to give you a flavor of what you do in the course, or why you would need a qualification in network infrastructure, I'll hand you over to Tony, and he'll go into a little more detail on that. Tony.
Yes, hello everybody, and yeah, just first of all, I wanted to just do is give a brief background on the concept of living in this connected network world, and then we'll move on, and later on we'll actually look at the specific modules and so on in the course. Okay, so the connected world that we currently live in and work in and play in. So what is that made up of? Okay, so what kind of devices do we have? So we see here, okay, obviously we've got lots of, obviously everyone's familiar with the idea of computers, with the internet and smartphones and so on, but also like Netflix, social media, Amazon, Spotify, gaming, all these areas. Okay, and particularly with the pandemic, we've become much more familiar with. But also then in terms of the, I suppose more commercial or industrial applications like cloud computing, in the area of manufacturing, automation, banking, logistics, and also a big new area as well is the autonomous cars and car safety. Okay, so the question is so that's the world that we have it as now. How will this the connected world that we live in and play in the future develop? Okay, so this is then going to obviously the idea of wearable technology, like your smartwatch, this kind of thing, going to kind of high-speed broadbands, so either fiber broadband or 5G. Also the area of robotics, and then another big area as well is the whole area of environmental monitoring. Okay, looking at monitoring conditions, particularly in cities and that, and keeping those monitored. Industry 4.0, again, another buzzword that you hear out there. So looking at more and more automations. This is the integration of sensors and robotics and energy saving into actually industrial manufacturing. Okay, the idea of the self-driving car. Now already we see that there's a lot of modern cars are coming with more and more not quite self-drive, but kind of assisted drive features. Like you obviously we start off with parking sensors and so on. Now, okay, you have the option of actually have cars that will actually park themselves. From an app remotely. For example, like cruise control, then that went to adaptive cruise control, and so on. And by the introduction of more and more cameras and sensors, the idea basically is that you will obviously minimize and reduce accidents and so on. Okay, so the requirement then for the computer engineer. Okay, what does the computer engineer do? So the key role, okay, will be the research, design, development, installation, and support of any computer-based system. Okay, and this is so it's not just computers as in IT. This is so every system that we use now is basically computer based. Okay, so from the for every appliance, every device we use, there is a certain amount of computer engineering involved in that. So the specific task that we have then is basically the first of all, we have the sensors that actually measure the various inputs, and these all have to be integrated. There's the electronics aspects that need to be utilized to actually get those devices to work, the communication systems and networks to actually link these sensors back, and then we have the software then and the to actually, I suppose, manage the actual data, and then finally we have the human-machine interfaces, which basically output the display and allow the actual end user to interact with the system. Okay, so I'll just pass you back to Kevin there, and Kevin will go through the different CAO options that we have for our network course.
Thanks, Tony. There's a massive suite of opportunities available for people with qualifications in the networking area, as Tony pointed out. What can be very confusing for students when they're looking at the CAO and they're looking at different colleges is there are so many different options out there. There's so many different courses that you're trying to figure out, well, what do I do in this course? What do I do in this other course? What course should I go for? What course should I pick? In broad terms, anything in the technology sections, there's fabulous opportunities. Tony just outlined a massive array of technology that people going forward in the future, people designing need to have an awareness of these technologies and how to work and how you can use the technologies. So one of the things you find when you're working in the area is that you're never going to know it all. But what we aim to do in these courses is give you, I suppose, the fundamentals. If you understand the fundamentals of any technology, the world's your oyster where you can go and develop it. So looking at the specific courses, if you look at the college website, if you look at the CEO handbook, there are different options. The course that we want to talk about is the Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering with Network Infrastructures. And it comes in different flavors or different options, but they're basically a lot of commonality. So you have an option to do a 4-year level 8 course. So that offering is on the CEO as AL 8025. When you come in to do this course, you'll be sitting in a first year with the people who have signed up to do a level 6 and the people who have signed up to do a level 7. So you can choose in the CEO that you want to spend 4 years and commit yourself to the 4 years to do the networking course. If some people don't get the points for the level 8 qualification, or maybe they might decide, well, 4 years is a long time to commit, we'll come in and we'll do a level 7. So you can do a level 7, it takes 3 years, and that's a direct entry from the CEO. AL701 is the code to do that. Now, when you do your level 7, as typically happens with most of our students, they find when they do the course and they're successful in it, that they want to go on and progress and do additional studies. So they can do an add-on and do the level 8 course, and it's the very same qualification as the people who signed up for the 4-year level 8. For some people, and particularly mature students, even the notion of coming back to study and the option of committing for 4 years or even 3 years, that can be quite daunting. And a lot of students would want a kind of a smaller bite at the cherry, so to speak. So a lot of students will sign up for a level 6 course. And the option for a level 6 in our department is AL6021. It's a level 6, a higher certificate in engineering and computer engineering. Now that's a 2-year course. In first year, you're sitting in with the people who are signed up for the network management course. If I just scroll back quickly, I want to refer to, I have to go back a good bit, to the 2 options here. When you sign up for the level 6 course, you can either do computer engineering or the network infrastructure. So with the level 6 option, you sign up for 2 years, you're sitting in the same class in first year as the people who have signed up for the other courses in our department. In year 2, in year 2, you get your qualification as level 6. After 2 years, if you want to continue studying networks, you can do an add-on level 7. So with an add-on year, you come out with your level 7 qualification. If you want to continue to do an extra year, you can do your add-on and get your level 8 qualification. So it's quite flexible in the college how you can what qualification you can come out with. A number of our students then, when they get the level 7, the level 8, will progress to do a level 9 and indeed a level 10. But the bulk of students will tend to go with the level 8. I want to get into, I suppose, the specifics of what you actually cover in each of these courses. So just have an overview of the subject streams that we do, and I'll just go through them. Tony will just go through briefly one of the main advantages of the course, the BSc in Computer Engineering with Network Infrastructure. Tony was instrumental in designing this course, and along with getting an AIT qualification, either your level 7 or your level 8 qualification from AIT, embedded in this course are many industry qualifications, which I'll hand you over to Tony and he can just describe those. But it's a major advantage that this course has over some of the other offerings that we give in AIT.
Yeah, so thanks, Gavin. Yeah, so as well as doing the general modules, we've also a number of industry certified modules embedded in the course, and these will include like the CompTIA A+ course, the Microsoft Office User System course, and also the Cisco CCNA course, and this would also incorporate then the wireless and security. So, okay, so while you're studying the actual modules, okay, for your AIT degree, you also will have access to the actual relevant material that basically will allow you to actually take these industry certification exams independently. And again, these are very, very useful on your CV, because obviously it helps you. So when you basically go for an interview, it helps you stand out then from employers. If you can say, yeah, I've done my degree, but also I've received these industry certified modules, and because they're industry wide, it's the same module covered here in UK, Europe, America, and so on. So it means that industry or employers have a very good understanding, okay, what's being covered in that. So we would recommend now, we would recommend students then, having done the work, and that they would go forward and actually take those exams themselves. Generally done over the summer months. Okay, so obviously once you've finished your college work. So just to, so myself and Kevin will just then go through the basic modules that we cover. So so initially in first year we would cover the networks, and this is based on the networks fundamentals topic from the new Cisco CCNA version 7 program. And this then looks at the the basic principles of configuring networks. Okay, what the go to the terminology, technology, IP addressing, and also going through some configuration tasks. And also, I mean, you see, okay, Kevin there in the workshop lab, but we have very, very good labs for networks and wireless systems. So students will have the access then to do both simulation work, okay, on simulation software, but also be able to actually configure the actual physical routers and switches and PCs, and see their operation. Also, then they do the CompTIA A+ course, which this focuses on the operation of computer systems and computer hardware and how they function. Also, then we do the computer application, the Microsoft Office user course. Again, this has its own separate certification. Communications, then, which look at say teamwork, communication skills, like how students present material like PowerPoints, maybe using different applications like VoiceThread or Microsoft Teams, and so on. And finally, we then do an applied mathematics module, and this focuses on the engineering topics from the that you might have seen in the Leaving Cert course. So so these are the topics that are applicable to engineering. So I'll just hand back to Kevin there, and Kevin will look at the other streams.
Just to might be worth pointing out here, in AIT, many of the courses are semesterized, and in engineering, we didn't semesterize first year, but that's going to change. So basically, the courses that you see here in ballpark figures, you do 6 modules in a semester, and each module would typically be 4 hours. So you'd have 2 hours lectures and 2 hours labs. So one of the main advantages of an Institute of Technology, and particularly AIT, is we pride ourselves in how practical the courses are. So people who have an interest in electronics will absolutely enjoy Interface Electronics, the electronics workshop. Interface Electronics goes through the fundamentals of electronic components. And then in the workshop, which I'm in at the moment, you have the opportunity to actually build circuits, get the basics under your belt on how to solder components together. And then we build quite an interesting board based on an Arduino, which is used in subsequent years for projects. And again, I'll discuss that at a later stage. There's a strong software stream running through the courses as well. In the first year, there's I suppose a heavier emphasis on hardware. So you're physically configuring devices, you're building circuits, you're testing circuits, but there's also a software stream, and Java is covered in first year. Most of our courses also have what we term kind of the business, the soft skills, so communication, computer applications, learning how to use tools that you'll be using for writing reports, so learning how to use Word, giving presentations using PowerPoint. So there's I say the soft skills on working in teams, presenting information, documenting information is an important skill to have as an engineer. So this is typically what you have in first year. I say typically 24 hours contact in the week, and half those hours will be lab-based hours. Moving on to second year then, the subjects that I'm involved in this course, I'm involved in the wireless local area networks. wireless networks have become what they call ubiquitous. So effectively everywhere you have wireless networks, and we take it for granted. When you go into McDonald's, you go into your house, your phone automatically connects to a wireless network so that you can keep in contact with your friends, keep up to date on your social media. And we don't look behind the scenes and see, well, how does that happen? You need somebody to be able to configure wireless networks. You need somebody to be able to monitor to make sure that they're secure. So the wireless networks and telecom streams look at all of that. And in first year, we look at the fundamentals of wireless networks, the principles behind radio communication, and we move on to the larger organizations. So large wireless networks that you would have in an organization like the college, or big banks that have multiple sites all over the country. In third year then, we look at mobile communication, mobile phone networks. A lot of the data that's transmitted is done over your mobile phone network. So we explore the fundamental principles behind radio communications in a mobile phone environment, and look at the evolution of mobile phone technology. What's the technology that's been used? In this stream here, we have color-coded the streams. And as I mentioned earlier, the years 2 and year 3 are semesterized. So this vertical stream, you typically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules in a semester. So I'm involved in the wireless, and I'm also involved in the project. And the project is quite an interesting stream. In second year, we build from what was done in first year. So in first year in the electronics lab, you build an Arduino board. In second year, we use that Arduino board and we explore how to program up in the Arduino environment, and we build an alarm system. So everybody does the same project in second year, and you can note that that's a year-long module, so that isn't semesterized. In the first part of the year, we do a lot of, I suppose you get the tools that you need for building your project. When I say tools, you're learning how to program up, you're learning how to use components, and then in the second semester, you go and you build an alarm system. That's followed through then in third year, you also do a project, but the project in third year is you pick the project. And it's a group project, so you normally do it with 2 or possibly three people, and it's quite open as to what type of projects. So people do anything from networking, security projects, securing a network, to building little robots to drive around the place, self-drive robots. So it's up to the students themselves as to pick the project. And for anybody with an interest in electronics, anybody who's an interest with building things with their hand, huge opportunities and a very enjoyable module. There's a continuation also of the software strand with computer system administrations and scripting. I'm not involved in those strands, but again, the project will tie a lot of these strands together. So in many cases, people will use the programming languages that they learn in other streams in their project. So they can build a project using Python, using Java that they learned first year, using scripting languages that they do in second year. There's a strong math stream, and I'll hand you over, and Tony can discuss the networks stream. He's heavily involved with that. Tony.
Yes, hello. Yeah, so basically what we have is the remaining streams. We have the maths stream then, which basically continues on, again, looking at the applied maths, okay, looking at the likes of statistics and probability and those kind of topics, which are all very important in a network. And then the main stream we have then basically will be the top on purple there, the networks stream. So this is divided up into a number of parts. So we start off then with the networks 2, which looks at the configuration, look again based on the CCNA routing course. So this is kind of like essentially the second part of the CCNA course. We then in semester 2 we move on and look at connected devices, and this is again so looking at how we actually interface with IoT type sensors, and how you basically take the data from those devices and bring those back into your network. So the first module is more looking at the traditional routers, switches, and so on, whereas the second module is actually looking at the more lower end kind of IoT devices and how you basically get those to connect in. the operating systems module in the case is basically looking at the essentially Windows Server. Okay, so how we basically configure a network server device to actually manage the actual operation of a network. And then in third gen, we then move on and look at, say, some of the more advanced network configuration. So look at the CCNA Enterprise, okay, module, and also the CCNA Security. So this is actually looking at the, so again, having a network, okay, functioning is fine, but you also have to keep an eye the whole time to your security. So obviously making sure that the data you're generating is securely stored and that nobody can actually access that, and also that only authorized users can access resources or access networks as required. Okay, so we do quite a bit on that, and then we also do then the CCNP level module on switch networks, and this then focuses on looking at the operation of network switches. So starting off at the layer 2 level, okay, how we connect the end devices to the switches, then moving up then into more bigger enterprises, we have, say, multiple switches, layer 3 switches, and also the ideas of redundancy and backup, because again, a key thing with any network is that or any system in engineering, that a single point of failure shouldn't actually knock out your system. So keeping an eye on how you actually design the actual the network infrastructure to be resilient. So a single failure should not affect the overall operation of the actual network.
Tony, can I just ask you there? You're referring to CCNA and CCNP. Maybe you could just
in the Cisco kind of realm, CCNA basically is the basically the associate level. So that's kind of like your kind of mid-level, kind of entry-level to mid-level modules, where CCNP basically is the professional level. So this will be kind of a higher, like a kind of a follow-on kind of module. So typically in our case here, we would introduce the CCNP type modules, at year 3. So it's kind of like a slightly more, but it is a more advanced level of material that you're covering.
And so these are qualifications that are recognized globally.
Absolutely, yeah. So now obviously now there's a separate. So now we obviously teach them here within the AIT calendar, but there's also then you can actually register to take separate certification exams for these courses. And again, these are kind of transferable, to any company will recognize them these.
Okay, so that gives you a flavor for what we do in the 3-year computer engineering with network infrastructure. Now, I think I didn't put a slide in, but Tony, you're more familiar. A number of years ago, the only option in level 8 for a person who did this course was to switch, I suppose, hats and go over to the other side of our department and do a level 8 in software engineering. Now, there are many good reasons to do that. It's actually a nice suite of qualifications to have under your arm. With the course that we're discussing here, you have a very strong background in networking technologies, and you do have a software stream. But by adding a level 8 in software engineering to your qualification makes you very employable with the likes of company like our local company here, Ericsson's. But I think it was 3 years ago we developed a networks level 8 add-on. So there's a new offering, which is a 4th year that you can add on to this level 7 to get yourself the level 8 qualification, and you can sign in from the CEO to commit yourself to the 4 years and get a level 8. So maybe Tony, you could just discuss what type of topics do you cover in the level 8 offering? I'm not involved.
Sure. Thanks, Captain. Yeah. So it's I suppose really it's more of it's kind of a follow-on then from the year 3. So obviously, so we have a project. Okay, so again, a more substantial project then, okay, running in the year 4. There will be a kind of a businessy type module as well, just looking at again how systems work. The scripting stream, computing stream, basically again continues on. We do more detailed work on that. In terms of networking, okay, we actually look at the it's a slightly more looking at the operation of enhanced networks. So looking at maybe some emerging technologies like the likes of software-defined networking, and also maybe a bit more work on the protocols and the underlying kind of background of the actual networks operation. And also then we would then have a couple of modules then. Okay, one module on augmented and virtual reality. So it's again just how the actual users kind of interface with the actual networks. And then finally, we introduced on the idea of databases. So they actually take 2 semesters of database and looking at like SQL, like standard networks, and then also then like the likes of NoSQL, okay, for working with, say, very large data sets and so on. So again, a good suite of modules there. You know, project work, I mean, databases, maybe a bit more advanced work on networks, a bit on VR, a bit on AR, and obviously the more scripting. So again, it's just an expansion of that. And again, that's available as either the 4-year straight through course or as a 1-year add-on. So again, we would get a certain amount of students coming in from obviously level 7 networks, but also either from other, say, software related or engineering courses. So we've kind of structured a little bit this year to or the last couple of years, that students could come in, you know, once they have a kind of a cognitive degree, level 7, they should be able to move into the level 8. Okay.
Okay, there's just to wrap up. It sounds like there's brilliant opportunities in the whole networking area. The suite of offerings that we give here in this topic in AIT is quite extensive. So you get a lot of the fundamental technologies under your belt. You can also have your industrial qualifications. So it would make you a very desirable employee for any organization. And it might be worth noting that the level 8 option, in the last year or two, it's been difficult to get students to continue into level 8, and it can be a good thing and a bad thing. But from a positive note, is a lot of the students with the network qualifications, they've been snapped up by companies, so they don't want to come back to do their level 8 qualification. Now, many of them will go and work in a company for a number of years and will come back in subsequent years and complete a level 8. But it is interesting to see that at level 7, people are getting jobs, and well-paying jobs, and have been snapped up. There's a high demand there for qualified people. I can appreciate that people filling out a CEO form, people looking at options and careers, it can be quite confusing and quite daunting. But I'd like to just wrap up and maybe just refer you to the AIT website. If you log into ait.ie, I'll just go back to the main site. There's quite an amount of information about the courses that we offer. So on the main page, you get the option for courses. That goes through the full suite of what we offer in the college here. If we go to the departments, I'm specifically interested in the Department of Electronics and Informatics. And in that, we get the list of courses that we offer. The course that we were discussing today is the computer engineering with network infrastructure. So that's the level 8 option. If you scan down lower, you'll see it, the option with level 7. So clicking on that, that gives you additional information, and it's a good source. It's a good place to look if you want further information about the course that we offer here. So I'll sign off now. Thanks very much for tuning in and for listening to us. Tony?
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, again, as Kevin says, any further questions, take a look at the website, and also there will be a digital version of the brochure, I think, going out fairly shortly as well. So that should be obviously available in all schools, and I think it should also be downloadable as well from the website. So again, that give you more details. And again, there's contact information in that. And again, it's also then worth reading around as well. So take a look at maybe websites like the Cisco website, or taking a look at as Kevin mentioned, the Arduino website. There's lots of resources out there now for this area, and just to make sure that that you have an interest in the topic. And so hopefully now we won't be having the so hopefully we'll be having the in-person open day around Easter, but we'll see how that goes. Obviously, we're not having it in November, unfortunately, but so that's it.
Thanks for your effort. Take care. Bye.